From KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, COVID-19 continuing its rapid spread across the nation as the rate of hospital admissions continues to climb.
Outside with live cam, we had another round of showers in the area late yesterday. Looks like we've got some morning cloudiness out there right now, reflecting off the city lights of San Antonio. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, the 17th.
Thanks for joining us today. Happy Tuesday. I didn't see rain, but I got the cloud cover. That's really nice.
Yes, I didn't get rain directly over my house, but I saw it on radar late yesterday afternoon, Mike. It was close, but no cigar.
Yep, same thing. You know, it was like, oh, come on, please. Although I had the rain on Sunday, so yeah, couldn't get too greedy with it. We'll have some more rain around today, primarily to the north and northern portions of the hill country and to the northwest. So just a small chance for it. Nothing right now. You can see we got clouds out there, and yesterday we kind of had a bit of a break from these warm, humid conditions in the morning when temperatures were down in the low 70s. That was just a fond memory now. 78, 76 Port SA, 78 at Canyon Lake. And even yesterday, remember, we were in the mid 60s in parts of the hill country, and the humidity is back as well. So dew points are back up, most areas into the mid 70s. Yep, so therefore we already have a heat index to deal with. 81 in town, Stinson, 80 Canyon Lake and Castroville. Prize winner this morning with a heat index of 83 degrees. And like I said, nothing is showing up on radar right now. Mold's on the high side from the rain we had on Sunday. Pigweed is low, and throughout the rest of the morning, we are going to have mostly cloudy skies. Haven't seen any hints of any fog around there. Always be on the lookout for that, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Temperatures will stay in the mid to upper 70s. 94 for high temperature. A couple of showers and storms, again, primarily up to the north, and a little different situation tonight. Some of those may actually hang around into the overnight hours, especially in parts of the hill country, and a couple of heftier downpours. We'll talk about that and see what temperatures and are going to do the rest of the week, and if there's any more rain the rest of the week. Steph, Mark?
Thank you very much, Mike. You probably got a blue alert on your phone last night, according to Wichita Falls Crime Stoppers, in regard to the attempted capital murder of a peace officer up in Clay County. That's the area just east of Wichita Falls, northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. Police say the crime happened around 7:30 last night at a truck stop. Authorities say during a traffic stop, a Clay County deputy was shot and the suspect drove away. Was last seen wearing a blue ball cap and a four-door Cadillac with Texas license plate FXJ1334. Should have multiple bullet holes in the back window and trunk. If you have any information, call Wichita County Crime Stoppers at 1-800-322-9888.
This morning, San Antonio police say officers are still looking for a suspect after an innocent man got caught up in a shooting in the downtown area last night. This all happened near Leona Street on Houston Street, a couple of blocks away from UTSA's downtown campus. Police believe a drug deal that didn't go as planned led to a gunman to shoot. Now, one of those bullets ended up hitting the victim, who was walking a block away on Commerce. That 50-year-old man was hit in the hip area and taken to the hospital. The man is expected to be okay.
Cases of COVID continue to rise here in Bexar County. We're now seeing more than 1,600 cases a day, according to our 7-day average. San Antonio experiencing a 9% increase in our local hospitals. There are now more than 1,400 COVID patients being treated. 367 are in intensive care. 238 are on ventilators. Meanwhile, COVID-19 infections are surging across the country. Hospitalizations among people 49 and under are up nearly 930% in just the last 2 months.
And pediatric hospitalizations are as high as they have ever been. ABC's Marcus Moore has more from Dallas.
COVID-19 continuing its rapid spread across the nation. The rate of hospital admissions for people under 49 now at its highest point in the pandemic. In Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Texas, ICUs are at over 90% capacity.
We have our nursing team and our physician teams getting stretched thinner and thinner to take care of all the COVID patients that are throughout the hospital and our ICUs right now.
And concern growing with the number of pediatric COVID cases at the highest point of the pandemic. 121,000 new cases reported in just the last week. This graph from the CDC showing the spike in new hospital admissions for children with COVID, an increase of more than 400% since the 4th of July. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Dallas.
President Biden says he stands squarely behind his decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan. The president called the U.S. exit far from perfect, but maintains U.S. troops could no longer be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves. Conditions on the ground have sparked sharp criticism, with many lawmakers imploring the White House to do more to rescue fleeing Afghans, especially those who had aided the two-decade American military effort. Overnight, emergency evacuation flights from the airport in Kabul resumed, and U.S. officials say 1,600 people have been flown to safety and that Americans have priority.
Grace is once again a tropical storm this morning. Grace, the storm has drenched already earthquake-damaged Haiti as a tropical depression. It dumped up to 10 inches of rain before regaining tropical storm status. The storm could not have come at a worse time for Haitians struggling to deal with the effects of Saturday's 7.2 magnitude earthquake, blamed for an estimated 1,300 deaths. The Miami-based U.S. Hurricane Center said Grace is expected to gain strength in the coming days and could be near hurricane strength when it approaches Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula late tomorrow or early Thursday.
The Justice Department appealing the court decision from earlier this summer to temporarily block the Biden administration's pause on new federal oil and gas leases. In June, the court sided with more than a dozen states that sued. That's after President Biden directed the administration not to issue new leases for oil and gas drilling in offshore waters and on public lands while a review of leasing practices is underway. That preliminary court injunction came as a blow to the administration, as it was one of Biden's key actions to address climate change.
Time now, 4:36 and about 77 degrees out there.
Do you have a favorite salad dressing? It may make your salad less healthy. We have some alternatives that taste pretty good and don't hurt your calorie count.
Also next, the San Antonio Spurs finishing up Summer League play. We're going to check in on how the team did overall.
August 17th, moving right along here in the year. We're going to check back in with Mike Ostrade to see how your Tuesday is looking forecast-wise. We'll be right back. The Spurs closed out Las Vegas Summer League play with a 116-91 loss to the Thunder yesterday to finish 1-4. Trey Jones, Joshua Primo, and Devin Vassell did not play. Rookie and second-round draft pick Joe Wieskamp tied for a team-high 12 points. Head coach Mitch Johnson said more wins would have been nice, but they were lucky to have some close games. The coach was pleased with Justin Robinson, who came on strong the last couple of games. In the last one, he had 5 points, 4 assists, 3 boards, and 2 blocks in 18 minutes.
He was just solid, and I mean that as a compliment in terms of I think he gave us a little bit of everything. Energy was the big thing, but I think defensively he did a great job of trying to protect the rim a little bit and being vocal and loud and being a connector on defense. And then offensively, I think he did a good job of trying to set screens and change sides with the ball for us in our offense and kind of keep the ball moving with some pace.
Justin's dad, the Admiral, was at the game watching his son. The Spurs are now off until the start of training camp coming up on September 28th.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys back in Frisco for the remainder of their training camp. They kicked it off Cowboy night at Ford Center at the Star of Frisco. It's one of 4 practice sessions open up to fans. Quarterback Dak Prescott returned, but he did not go through team drills or 7-on-7s. He is still dealing with that strained right shoulder. He's still on course for the season opener, September 9th at Tampa Bay. The boys are just playing it safe with Dak.
The biggest thing, is really to stay on course with his work. It's plan of caution. I'm trying to come up with new words here, but I mean it's the same plan. And coming out of this, it's when he was shut down, you have to build up his volume of throws again. So we just really don't want to put him in a position where we can re-injure it. So just continue to work on that plane.
Coach also said if Dak doesn't play Saturday against the Texans, he will not play in the preseason. Defensive end Randy Gregory practiced yesterday evening. He's been dealing with a foot issue, did not make the trip to Arizona for Friday's preseason game. It was media day for University of Incarnate Word football. Head coach Eric Morris and several players from both sides of the ball were there. Running back Kevin Brown had a fantastic spring season, rushing for 775 yards in 6 games. Now it's a quick turnaround for the Cardinals, who finished the spring football season Saturday, April 17th. During the spring, Brown led the nation, averaging 10.5 yards a carry. And back to the Cowboys real quick. I watched one of the episodes of Hard Knocks on HBO with the Cowboys. They seem very chill this year at camp in Oxnard.
Well, good.
The narrative was the sense of urgency is on players like Zeke Elliott, who underperformed last season.
Well, you know, he has another season to
Get
figure
things
it out.
together, yes.
Yeah.
But looks like they're definitely working on it. Of course, they are just thrilled to have Dak back.
Very cold. Time now, 4:42 and 77 degrees for now.
Still ahead, we'll take a look at some dressings that are not only good, but they are good for you as well.
Also up next, why government is looking closely at the safety of the autopilot feature found in Tesla vehicles. And welcome back. It's about 4:45. The government is announcing an investigation into the safety of the autopilot feature in Tesla vehicles. ABC's Gio Benitez has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look.
Are you concerned? Well, absolutely. Look, we've been concerned about these systems in Tesla at Consumer Reports for years.
The massive auto safety investigation covering nearly every Tesla sold in this country since 2014, all because of that autopilot feature.
Ironically, because Tesla's system builds so much confidence in consumers, they are likely to start checking out.
At least 17 people have been injured and one person killed in these series of accidents. Most of the Teslas hitting first responder vehicles when it was dark.
Can the vehicle actually see this stuff? Is the vehicle mistaking this stuff for something else and thinking these aren't hazards? That's huge. Is Tesla doing enough to ensure that drivers are paying attention to the road?
And we'll have much more on this investigation coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Well, everybody has their favorite salad dressing. Lots of people like ranch, Italian, Caesar, blue cheese. But they can also turn your healthy salad into a bowl of less than healthy ingredients.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Morris shows us which ones that are good and good for you.
Sometimes the dressing makes the salad, so Consumer Reports food experts focused on two faves, raspberry vinaigrette and good old ranch. They looked at nutrition and did blind taste tests, because face it, if a healthy dressing doesn't taste good, you probably won't use it. Salad dressings can be loaded with added sugars and sodium, but the fat in dressings is usually the heart healthy type, and fat can help your body absorb more of the salad's nutrients.
We're seeing some brands use high quality ingredients and lowering the amount of added sugars and sodium. You could find some healthy options that taste really good in the supermarket these days.
In the raspberry vinaigrette category, CR recommends Annie's Organic Light. It's a sour, sweet berry dressing with hints of honey and mustard. It has the least sodium and fewer added sugars of most of those tested. As for ranch, if you like its creamy, tangy taste, read the labels. Overall, the tested ranch dressings have more sodium than vinaigrettes, up to 280 milligrams in 2 tablespoons.
The ranches did have more sodium than the vinaigrettes, but the ones we tasted all had 1 gram or less of sugar and were surprisingly low in unhealthy saturated fats.
One classic ranch they recommend has just 45 calories a serving. It's Bold House Farms Classic Ranch Yogurt. It's traditional and fresh with mild spices. Topping the ranch ratings, though, is one with a twist, Primal Kitchen Ranch Dressing and Marinade with avocado oil. It's tart and lemony and a tasty way to enjoy your veggies. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Even at 4:48, looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good, and it's good for you.
Yeah, if you do it right.
Yeah.
Mike? Good morning.
Salad, you know, a salad with all the stuff on it is great.
Yes.
But
I agree.
to get all that, then you can't eat it all, and it goes bad in your fridge sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Small portions or,
I know.
Or share it, I guess.
Share.
Yeah.
Share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it took a long time to learn that, the two of us, but.
I'm saying
No comment. No comment.
A few clouds hanging around yesterday. Some folks saw more clouds over there, obviously fairly cloudy skies at Woodlawn Lake. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. And then we've got our clouds hanging around this morning. They'll break up a little bit here and there and then call it partly cloudy again later on today. It's going to look in some places a lot like yesterday. And dew point temperatures, if you've noticed that the humidity is up compared to yesterday, yes, indeed. Compared to 24 hours ago, dew points are up about anywhere 2-4 degrees, 8 degrees higher in Kerrville. And of course, these numbers don't seem like a lot, but the difference between a dew point, say, of 70 and 74, that's a world of difference when you step outside. It really depends, or makes your glasses fog up or not fog up is pretty much the situation. All right, yesterday, as we were talking about, we had a few of those showers and thunderstorms up in the hill country. A lot of folks were wishing for some rain, and as expected, though, most of us didn't see anything. There is nothing showing up on radar. Maybe a couple little sprinkles actually now starting to show up there in southern Atascosa County. But off to the west, this is where we're kind of looking right now, because there's this obviously system disturbance making those showers and thunderstorms out there northwest of San Angelo. That's moving off to the northwest, but a lot of this energy is going to work its way to the east and cut across the northern portion of the hill country. So later on today, we'll have a few showers, thunderstorms. Again, the majority of those up to the north right around noon. And then as we get in the mid and later afternoon, some of those will continue to develop. And again, the best opportunity is going to be further up to the north. And the other thing is some of these are going to be hanging around even into the overnight hours. And we may see some fairly hefty downpours up in portions of the hill country. And that would be later on tonight, overnight, and into early tomorrow morning. And then what happens tomorrow is dependent on what happens tonight. If these things really get going tonight, that tends to sort of beat up the atmosphere. We won't have as much activity tomorrow. If they're not as widespread and as strong, then we'll have more activity tomorrow. I'm still going with some showers and thunderstorms, though, around the area tomorrow. And then they'll start to sort of ease up a little bit. Yeah, one or two of them here Thursday, Friday, and I think we have another disturbance coming on in here by the weekend, by Saturday. Quick check on Tropical Storm Grace, 40-mile-per-hour winds, and it's still going to work its way through the Caribbean and then in toward the Yucatan Peninsula. Yes, it will come close to hurricane strength into the Bay of Campeche, but still, all indications are right now it will stay well to the south of us and move into central Mexico, and that's going to be by the weekend. So we're not going to have any real concerns from that. 89 degrees, partly sunny skies today at noon, and a high temperature then 94, still just shy of the normal average high temperature. A couple of showers and storms, mainly up in northern portions of the hill country, and that's going to be the overnight tonight and then tomorrow. Still have that decent chance of rain tomorrow. More clouds keep temperatures down a little bit. And one thing, yeah, it's going to be hot. Obviously, it's the mid to latter part of August, but maybe not quite as hot. I think a few more clouds are still going to be hanging around here, and another okay shot of rain on Saturday. On Saturday. Yeah.
Wasn't it just like a month ago the tropics were quiet as could be, and now it's popping like popcorn?
We do have three. Well, Fred is on land. It's going to continue to die out. Big rain producer in the Tennessee Valley. And then, of course, we have Grace, and now we have Henri out there in the middle of the Atlantic. That's just going to kind of spin around out there.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Things got busy, as expected. 452, about 78 degrees.
And coming up next, a huge new chart record for the weekend song Blinding Lights, plus a new honor for Ray Charles.
Here are your lottery numbers. Pick 3, 262, Fireball 2. Daily 4 numbers, 5195, Fireball 7.
Cash 5, 1, 6, 7, 18, 30. Texas 2-step, 16, 21, 26, 32. Bonus ball 19. Good luck.
Nicole Kidman leads an ensemble cast in her latest project, plus big Billboard news for the weekend.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
You here for the 10-day retreat, Us 2.0?
A lot of the people behind Big Little Lies are back with the new show 9 Perfect Strangers. Nicole Kidman leads the ensemble cast. She plays a self-help guru running an exclusive wellness retreat. And while Bobby Cannavale's character checks in, he tells me he wouldn't.
It's not a place I would go to. The closest thing I'd go to of this would be like, sandals with the kids.
He says he doesn't even want a massage.
Yeah, I like to be in a place that's nice looking but where people leave me alone.
9 Perfect Strangers is out tomorrow on Hulu. A huge new chart record for the weekend song Blinding Lights. It's now the longest running song in the history of Billboard's Hot 100 Singles Chart, where it's hung out for 88 weeks. Imagine Dragons' Radioactive was the previous champ. A new honor for Ray Charles. The music legend will be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame.
You give your hand to me.
While best known for R&B, his 1962 album, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, was groundbreaking and best-selling. Charles will be joined in next year's class by mother-daughter duo The Judds. And happy birthday to legendary actor Robert De Niro. The Irishman star is 78 today, while Go-Go's frontwoman Belinda Carlisle is 63. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And time now is 4:57, and it's about 78 degrees out there.
Still ahead on GMSA, the latest on the crisis in Afghanistan is overnight emergency evacuation flights from the airport in Kabul resumed.
Plus, Peloton is starting repairs to its recalled tread machines. More details coming up in Tech Bites.
Fire crews in Northern California continue to battle the massive Dixie Fire. Hundreds of thousands of acres have burned, and evacuation orders are in place. We've got more details coming up later on GMSA at 6.
And a quick look at the roads with TransGuide. There's a look at I-35 at Watson Lane. We're going to be checking in with Stephen Cavazos after the break.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, the crisis continues to unfold in Afghanistan as the Taliban take control of the government.
Back here home outside with live cam. A few breaks in those clouds out there. The sun is not up yet, so it looks like we're seeing some reflection of the city lights here in the downtown area. Good morning, everybody. We've made it to Tuesday. It is August 17th.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. So, not everybody got rain yesterday, but I was happy with the cloud cover.
Yeah, some huge towering cloud structures late yesterday, Mike. But again, not everybody saw rain. But we had a better shot the day before.
Yeah, on Sunday, and then better shot today up to the north. Most of the rain is going to be up in portions of the hill country, and unlike the past couple of days, some of that may actually linger into tonight and could have some hefty downpours up in portions of the hill country. More on that in a second. 78 degrees right now. I think yesterday it was 71 at this time, 71, 72. So that little break we had in the heat and humidity, it's gone away. So pretty darn humid when you step outside. Dew point of 74, which means for most people, your glasses are going to be fogging up a little bit when you walk outside and air conditioning out there. 94 high temperature today, still slightly below the average. And we do have about a 30% chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. Again, mainly up in the hill country later on today. The aquifer went down 1/10 of a foot in the past 24 hours, and mold is on the high side. That was all left over from the rain that we had on Sunday. So I would imagine it's probably going to be going down somewhat, and that updated count is going to be coming out just after 7 o'clock this morning. So here's what it looks like on radar right now. Nothing really in our area. There may be a couple little sprinkly, spits and drizzles down there in southern Atascosa County. But then off to the west and northwest, this obviously batch of rain near San Angelo is sort of moving off to the northeast. But we do have some more energy back out here just north of the Big Bend, and that's going to work its way across the hill country. So that's what's going to be giving us that chance for some rain today. Warm and humid this morning, of course, a couple of showers. And then again, if anything does pop up in the hill country, it can always send out some of those outflow boundaries and touch off some more. But again, the better chance will be up in the hill country, mid-90s for a high temperature. And then tonight, some of those showers and thunderstorms still lingering overnight up to the north, maybe some hefty downpours. And then tomorrow we are going to have still a few storm shower or two, a couple of thunderstorms tomorrow, and maybe a leftover here and there going into the latter part of the week. But rain chances will go down as the week rolls on. We'll be up in the mid-90s. Still nothing really extreme as far as temperatures. All the details, look ahead to the weekend coming up. Traffic authorities, Stephen Cavazos. Good morning, sir. Anything big going on the roads?
Hey, listen, Mike, I'm not complaining about the weather, and I'm not complaining about the traffic right now. So two good things for you guys that are watching at home. 35 at Watson Lane East does show that we do have traffic moving out there a little bit slow. There was some construction going on out there, I should say drainage operations that did have we saw some flashing lights out there in this shot at TransGuide, but it looks like that has since wrapped up. But something to be on the lookout for here. Now, those drainage operations do lead to a double main lane closure from Watson Lane to Parkway out of I-35. This will be going on. It's been going on since Monday, but should be wrapping up this Thursday. That's August 19th. It'll be taking place from 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning, and it does look like they have wrapped up and things are moving just a little slow out there right now. But taking a look here around the map, things are looking good if you plan on heading out the door there in the next few moments. Seeing a little bit of a slowdown there at 410 at Pearsall Road. That's because more construction is happening right now, but we'll have more on that later this morning on GMSA. But right now, let's take a look at these inbound times. They're looking pretty good if you're traveling to the downtown San Antonio area right now in the next few minutes. 25 minutes from Bernie and I-10, and we're looking at 25 minutes from 281 and Bulverde, and 25 minutes coming in from 35 and New Braunfels. And taking one last look here at 35 at Watson Lane. Yes, things are moving right now, but keep an eye out with us here. We'll have more construction and gas prices to be on the lookout for. That's coming up later this morning on GMSA. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. This morning, the Taliban have announced a general amnesty for all Afghans and actually urged women to join its government.
This after thousands were seen desperate to escape, some chasing U.S. planes as they taxi for takeoff. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest from Washington.
Overnight, panic and desperation at the Kabul airport, so intense it temporarily shut down. This photo showing some of the lucky. More than 640 Afghans packed onto this U.S. C-17 military jet. Thousands of Afghans crowding onto the runway surrounding the plane as it took off, some even trying to cling to the side of the fuselage. Officials confirming U.S. troops shot and killed at least 2 armed men as thousands poured onto the runway. One U.S. service member was injured during the chaos. President Biden conceded the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan unfolded faster than anticipated, but insisted,
I stand squarely behind my decision. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces.
The president then telling the nation,
I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me.
While pointing a finger at the Afghan forces and leaders for the Taliban's rapid advance.
Here's what I believe to my core. It is wrong to order American troops to step up when Afghanistan's own armed forces would not.
The president also blaming the Trump administration, which negotiated the deal to pull troops out of Afghanistan. Republicans pounced.
Really troubling and disturbing and just devastating. We're going to be reeling, going back through that reel to see where we went wrong.
Few Democrats coming to the president's defense. Senator Chris Murphy on MSNBC.
Well, the president made a tough decision, but the right decision. I find it pretty incredible that people look at this decision and try to portray it as weakness.
An ABC News Ipsos poll from just last month found that 55% of Americans approved of President Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
And former service members living here in San Antonio are expressing their frustration and concern as they watch the situation unfold in Afghanistan. Veterans who served in that country are demanding answers from the president. Those who talked to our KSAT crews yesterday say the complete abandonment of the country doesn't make sense when they see the bases the U.S. has in other countries.
This is a humanitarian crisis at an epic proportion, and we should not downplay it. The anger, the frustration needs to be voiced.
And if you are a veteran and need support, you're asked to call the Veterans Crisis Line, that number 1-800-273-8255.
Now that Bexar County's mask mandate for public schools is allowed to remain in effect, SAISD will continue to require masks for students and staff. The 57th Civil District Court Judge Antonio Artiega again ruled in favor of the city and county. Masks are mandated for schools, city and county employees and all those entering county and city facilities. This ruling is not the end of this battle, as appeals will likely be filed.
San Antonio ISD also says that teachers and staff must be vaccinated against COVID-19. The district says the deadline to get that shot is October 15th. School officials say 90% of SAISD staff is already fully vaccinated, but now that last 10% will be required to get the shot. District officials say it takes 5 weeks to reach full protection after getting that first dose.
Meanwhile, Northeast ISD acknowledged the most recent ruling and says the district will strongly encourage the use of face coverings. They also expect the governor to challenge the recent ruling, so they won't be mandating masking right now. Rather, that put our community through constantly changing guidance as legal proceedings continue, they say. We will continue to strongly encourage the use of face coverings while we wait for the Texas Supreme Court to decide whether today's temporary injunction is enforceable, end quote from Northeast ISD.
And time now is 5:09 and about 77 degrees outside.
Still ahead, an update on Peloton as the company begins repairs to its recalled treadmills.
Also next, how a new partnership with TxDOT will help military installations with road improvement issues.
Outside with live cam, pretty typical August weather, August 17th to be exact. We have morning clouds, quite a bit of humidity out there. We've got temperatures hovering in the mid to upper 70s in the Alamo City area. We'll be right back. 5:12, a major announcement here in Military City, USA. New legislation is allowing for military installations to team up with TxDOT when it comes to smoothing out road improvements on base.
Back in 2019, a years-long process paved the way for the city of San Antonio to help Joint Base Fort Sam Houston to get the road repairs they desperately needed. Now, starting September 1st, a new Texas law will allow Joint Base San Antonio to have TxDOT crews come on base to perform road work. Along with providing expertise, TxDOT can provide resources that will make these projects more cost-effective.
TxDOT has resources, and then they can actually help us from a financial perspective as well because of the economy of scale that they can do where we just can't as an installation.
This new law will not only help our city, military installations across Texas will be able to team up with TxDOT as well.
It's now 5:13 on your Tuesday morning.
And still ahead, a look at OpenTable's newest feature that shows a restaurant's vaccine status.
And next, how playing video games can help you burn calories.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide our skin, not us.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it. And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
In today's Tech Bites, fixing one of Peloton's recalled treadmills. The company recalled its cheaper model treadmill in May after reports of its touchscreen falling and causing minor injuries. Now Peloton says users can schedule an appointment for a technician to visit their home and fix the device. The reservation booking platform OpenTable is adding a new feature to help restaurants verify customers' vaccination status. After diners show their vaccination card, restaurants can flag them as verified. Those customers will then be able to visit that restaurant from that point forward without showing their card. And looking for a virtual workout? Try video gaming. A new study finds gamers burn more than 400 calories in just 2 hours. That's the equivalent of 1,000 sit-ups, if you can believe it. The research also found women gamers burn 12% more calories than guys. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
What?
What?
Are you sure? Was that right?
We got to find out who commissioned that study.
Yeah. Okay. So it's okay to play video games because you're burning calories, I guess.
Every kid 16 or older was like, I'll do that study.
A lot of contributors, I'm sure.
Promise I'm getting exercise, Mom. 5:18 right now on your Tuesday.
Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. I was going to say there was some construction out earlier.
There was, and you know what? It's also all the button pressing that you're doing with your phalanges right over here. So, maybe I'm getting my exercise with all the clicking. Mike and I are getting our exercises, right?
Pulls out the phalanges.
I am never playing Scrabble with you.
No kidding, man.
Listen, don't ask me to spell it. You may beat me there. 35 at Wiener. Things are getting a little bit busier now here on the roadways, and I'm clicking away here and getting that exercise. But right now, roads are looking really good right now as we're getting Tuesday started. And so good time to head out right now and grab that cup of coffee before your day gets going here. But let's talk about a stall there here off US 281 southbound at Bassey Road. This all just came in on TxDOT's website. Thankfully, we're not seeing any delays when it does come to traffic right now, but some other things to be on the lookout for is some construction happening over here off Loop 410 northbound. We told you about this a little bit earlier. Now, what's going on there? It's going to be some barrier setting, and it's happening at Old Pearsall Road up to Ray Ellison Boulevard. Again, that barrier setting has been taking place since Sunday, August 15th, but should be wrapping up this Wednesday. That's tomorrow, August 18th. It's an overnight deal, so something to be on the lookout for if you're an early morning or overnight commuter. So gas prices right now, AAA is reporting the average gas price in Bexar County is $2.72. Around the state, we're looking at $2.84, and right now around the country, AAA does report $3.18. Now, that price nationally has stayed steady for the last week, but AAA does anticipate that gas prices will likely continue to fluctuate, especially as we're inching closer to the Labor Day weekend. We know a lot of people will be traveling for that. But one last look here at Loop 410 at Broadway, US 90 at 410. I think things are looking good so far, so people don't have anything to worry about. But of course, take it easy on the roads this morning, guys.
Stephen, dazzling vocabulary. You've raised the bar for Mike.
Did you really pay attention when you had to label the bones on that chart, in anatomy class? Or did you just watch Jeopardy or something? So
anatomy, you think really highly of me. Anatomy. I never took an anatomy class.
Or life science
label
class.
the bones.
Didn't we have to?
The phalanges are connected to the
tibia, femur.
I just subscribe to Word of the Day. I'm just kidding.
Secret
we were like, really? You got
I try to use it once.
The secret's revealed. So. All right, thank you. Beautiful sky yesterday. We still had a fair amount of clouds hanging around here. That kept temperatures down a couple of degrees, made it up to 94 as opposed to the average high temperature being 96 degrees. Actually, yesterday the average high temperature was 97. Today it's 96, so we're on the downward slide now as far as the average high temperatures. Don't think you can really say it's cooling off, but we do have some clouds hanging around here this morning. Temperature right now is at 78 degrees, so we are much warmer than what it was at this time yesterday. We were down in the low 70s. Humidity is back up as well, so we are talking about somewhat of a heat index out there. 81 Castroville at the airport, 80 Canyon Lake, and even yesterday in the Hill Country we had those morning low temperatures about mid 60s at this time. Yesterday, once again, the high was 94 here in town. Only a few triple digits showing up in the reporting stations, of course. And today, about the same situation. I mean, look at that, only 80s up in the Hill Country. And this is taking into account a lot more of the way of cloudiness up there in the Hill Country. And, Del Rio only at 94 for a high temperature today. But again, that's going to be because of a lot of those cloudy skies out there. And metropolitan area, low mid 90s, no complaints there. Heat index readings, yes, much higher down here along the coastal plain where we're still going to have a lot more humidity. But we will be going through that 24-hour cycle where a lot more humidity in the morning and then it's going to be dropping down somewhat in the afternoon. So it's not going to be just ridiculously humid later on today. Still very warm, though, in the upper 90s with those heat index readings. And as far as rain, first of all, a lot of clouds hanging around here, some sunshine thrown in. We'll have showers and thunderstorms mainly up to the north, and some of those are going to be lingering into the evening and overnight hours. And so may actually have a couple of heavier downpours. That's going to be a possibility up in portions of the Hill Country, and that's going to be later on tonight and in the overnight hours. 89 degrees today at noon, partly sunny skies. High temperature today, once again, staying just below normal, 94. Couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms, primarily up to the northern portions of the Hill Country. And then tomorrow's rain chances are really dependent upon what happens tonight. If the atmosphere gets kind of worked over, rain chances will be down tomorrow. If not as many, we'll have a little bit better chance for some rain tomorrow. I think it keeps temperatures down as well. One or two showers Thursday, Friday, and then another disturbance moves in here and a smaller chance, or slightly better but still small chance of rain on Saturday.
I guess the remarkable part is we keep sprinkling in those chances here or there, even in the dog days of summer.
Yeah,
well, and even going back to yesterday, it was looking like we were really going to start getting very, very hot, and it will be hot this weekend, but another rain chance comes in here and kind of, shaves a degree or two off.
Keeping it in check.
I like it. The break was nice again yesterday.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. 523, about 77 degrees.
And still ahead in your morning spotlight, Tim McGraw's ode to a pickup truck, plus Mallory Lewis and Lamb Chop hit the stage.
Today's entertainment news includes, ready? Spike Lee, Tim McGraw, and Lamb Chop.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
When I was on the pile, when I was part of that effort, You really felt the love of humanity right there.
Two catastrophes hit New York City 2 decades apart, the 9/11 attacks and the COVID-19 crisis. Spike Lee looks at how his city dealt with both, coming together and coming apart, in the HBO documentary series NYC Epicenters 9/11 to 2021 and a half. The 4-part series begins on Sunday, August 22nd, with the finale arriving on September 11th. Tim McGraw's first music video since 2018 has a classic country theme. 7500 OBO is an ode to a pickup truck. Audrey McGraw, Tim's daughter with his wife Faith Hill, stars in the video. It's her acting debut.
Are you happy to be here? And do you all love puppets?
Everyone loves Lamb Chop. The classic puppet and Mallory Lewis appeared as part of the International Puppet Fringe Festival. The event was held in conjunction with the Museum of New York's new exhibition, Puppets of New York, featuring puppets spanning the city's history, from Broadway to street life to Sesame Street. Chasing the clouds away in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And don't forget Tim McGraw performing at San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. 2 shows on Saturday, February 19th.
Oh, I didn't know he'll be in town. Very cool.
The list gets longer.
Time now is 5:27 and about 77 degrees.
As the news out of Afghanistan continues to unfold, look how the U.S. is preparing to help Afghans looking for refuge.
Plus, we're going to have details on a data breach at T-Mobile that could affect more than 100 million people.
And Disney unveiling new Halloween costumes made for people using wheelchairs.
Terrifying moments for an animal trainer who was attacked by an alligator when a bystander comes in to help. We have all the details ahead on GMSA at 6.
Making headlines this morning, thousands of Afghan refugees could still be headed our way as the United States scrambles to evacuate American personnel from Afghanistan.
And a man gets stuck while trying to jump off a train overnight and is taken across the city. Details on his condition, that's coming up.
Outside with live cam right now, we've got a cloud deck right over downtown San Antonio. Mike has your full forecast coming up, and we'll check to see if we have any more afternoon showers or storms in that local forecast. Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, the 17th.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I guess a little bit of showers today, but not as much as we could have expected, yesterday, or as much as we got on Sunday.
They were in the area but weren't quite as numerous yesterday.
No, most of them were confined off to the west and up in parts of the hill country, and that's where the majority of rain is going to be today. Back to the cloud cover. It's kind of acting like a bit of a blanket. Yesterday at this time we didn't have as much in the way of clouds, and that allowed some of the heat to escape. So that's why we got down into the low 70s yesterday, and today now it's back up into the, on the warm side of things, well above normal, 78 degrees right now, plenty of humidity. Dew point stands at 74, a little bit of a breeze. Remember yesterday also the breeze was out of the north in behind those kind of gust fronts that moved through with those storms on Sunday. But yeah, it's warm and humid out there. And New Braunfels 73, Pleasanton 77 right now, 72 in Seguin. We do have a lot of mold, all the moisture. This was yesterday's count from all the rain that we had on Sunday. Given the fact things dried out a little bit yesterday, I think this is probably going to be dropping down. That updated count's going to come out in roughly a couple of hours. And throughout the day, 89 at noon, 94. Once again, we will have enough in the way of clouds hanging around here, like yesterday, to keep temperatures just slightly below the average. So 94 degrees. It'll feel like the upper 90s, of course. A couple of showers and thunderstorms, mainly up in northern portions of the hill country. And it does look like some of those are going to be sticking around into tonight. And there is going to be the chance for some of those storms to produce some hefty downpours in parts of the hill country overnight. We'll talk more about that and take a look ahead to the upcoming weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. So far, so good. Kind of quiet out there?
I'd say so, Mike. Right now, we do have a few more folks out on the roadways right now. 281 at the quarry. You can see getting a little bit busier right now, though, now that the morning is getting going here. But if you can make this out right over there, that is a stalled vehicle that we're seeing there. Again, this is a shot at 281 at the quarry. We did tell you about this a little bit earlier here on our maps. That's being reported here off 281 southbound, right at Bassey Road. Although we see a few more people out on the roadways right now, we are not seeing any issues when it comes to traffic. And right now, things are going going to be looking pretty green if you're going to be heading out the door in the next few moments. Right now, the inbound times do show the travel time to the downtown San Antonio area. Things are shaping up to be pretty nice right now. 29 minutes coming in from Seguin on I-10 and 22 on 87 from Lavernia. And we are looking at a short commute time, 28 minutes coming in from Floresville this morning. So we're watching the roads closely. Things are shaping up to be pretty nice, as I just mentioned, but we're watching out for that stalled vehicle. Hopefully they'll be receiving some assistance soon, but be sure to check those cars before you hit the roadways. We'll have more coming up this morning on GMSA. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. A man who tried to stow away on a train has ended up in the hospital. San Antonio firefighters say they had to rescue him after he got his foot stuck in a door. Katrina Weber is live where that train ride ended in the Kirby area at FM 78 and Buzz Aldrin. Now, Katrina, we understand he had quite the ride getting there.
Yeah, that's right. According to firefighters, that man had been dangling by his leg from that train for about 15 miles. They found him on the tracks here, although they believe he got into trouble down somewhere around Quintana Road. Freeing him wasn't as easy as simply opening the doors. Firefighters actually had to get a special tool from Union Pacific Railroad to pry them open. It was one of those trains that was carrying a load of automobiles. Firefighters and police had been searching for the man for some time. They had received a call around 1:30 this morning from one of his friends telling them what happened. It appears they were with a group who jumped off the train in the Quintana Road area, only this man's foot got stuck in the door. His friend wasn't sure what became of him, nor was anyone else, until firefighters then got another call about the man who was stuck here. Now, they put two and two together and realized that this was the same man who had gotten into trouble down on Quintana Road. Despite what had to be a harrowing experience, firefighters tell us he only suffered minor injuries, but they did take him to a hospital to get checked out. Reporting live near Kirby, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. As you know by now, Kabul has fallen, and this morning the U.S. is still scrambling, trying to evacuate embassy personnel and American citizens amidst the chaos.
And as CNN's Brett Conway reports, officials say tens of thousands of refugees could be headed our way.
In the city of Kabul, Taliban fighters are victorious, smiling at the city's airport. Scenes of fear and desperation to get out. People who helped U.S. troops and diplomats in Afghanistan are terrified they'll be targeted by the Taliban, skeptical of their assurances that people who worked with foreign forces and their families won't be harmed.
Taliban are the people that they never keep their promise.
The U.S. says it will keep its promise. President Joe Biden has directed the Secretary of State to use up to $500 million from the Emergency Refugee and Migration Assistance Fund. And people who work for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services have been asked to help out, possibly deploying to Texas, Wisconsin, or California, where U.S. officials say they're making space for around 22,000 people who applied for an Afghan Special Immigrant Visa, or SIV.
Persons that come to these locations will have been pre-screened by the Department of Homeland Security to enter on condition of full immigration processing once they arrive.
But national security officials say there are as many as 60,000 Afghans who could qualify for refugee or SIV status, and that doesn't include their families.
These are moms and dads with little kids at their knees, and every one of them should be gotten out by us.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
As the COVID-19 Delta variant spreads, National Park Service says it is immediately enforcing new mask rules. Visitors, employees, and contractors are now required to wear a mask inside all Park Service buildings, even in crowded outdoor spots. That includes the San Antonio Missions, which is classified as a National Park Service site. The rule applies regardless of a person's vaccination status or transmission levels within the community. Park Service said it's following latest science and guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. New requirement in effect until further notice.
The Biden administration is expected to advise that most Americans should get COVID-19 booster shots 8 months after being fully vaccinated. One source says the plan would involve administering third shots beginning in September. That's pending authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The plan is still in the works, but it could be announced as soon as this week. Pfizer and BioNTech say they have submitted initial data to the FDA to support the use of a booster dose for its COVID-19 vaccine. Until now, federal health officials have said boosters are not needed by the general population.
Time right now is 5:38. We're about 77 degrees.
And still ahead, Disney unveiling some new special Halloween costumes.
Making sure our affairs are in order in case the worst happens. Not something a lot of people want to talk about or tackle. What you need to know, make sure your wishes are being followed. Still to come on GMSA.
And taking a look outside with live cam, a nice shot there. We're at 77 degrees and expecting some rain primarily in the northern hill country, but hey, we'll take the cloud cover. We'll be right back.
It can be tough to plan for an unexpected tragedy or even death, but in the event something bad happens that leaves you unconscious or unable to communicate, do your loved ones know what your wishes are?
Ursula Perry has details on how you can make sure they do.
In the U.S., it's a taboo topic to talk about.
Other cultures talk about dying. It's a normal thing of life.
But not talking about wants and wishes for the end-of-life care now can lead to some big problems later. An advance directive is a series of documents that allows a person to express their care wishes and appoint a health care proxy to make decisions on their behalf if they're unable to. But among terminally ill patients, fewer than 50% had advance directives. So, what should you know about advance directives? Well, first, include a living will to decide what medical interventions, such as resuscitation, a feeding tube, or dialysis, are acceptable. Also, states handle advance directives differently, so you might want to consult a lawyer. And
it's good to review it every year.
Every year, since advance directives can be updated or even canceled depending on what's happening in your life. If you have an advance directive, make sure to give a copy to your doctor and other relevant medical health care providers. It's important because a recent study shows that between 65 and 76% of doctors were not even aware some of their patients had an advance directive when the time came for hard decisions, many of which are happening right now in hospitals. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Time check, 5:43 on your Tuesday morning.
Coming up next, details on a T-Mobile data breach where hackers have claimed to have stolen information from 100 million customers. And welcome back. It's about 5:46. In your morning consumer headlines, retail sales numbers are expected to be down for the month of July. But the National Retail Federation says the outlook remains optimistic due to fashion and back-to-school shopping. With children returning to the classroom, a boost in spending on school clothes is anticipated. Children have been learning from home since the pandemic started roughly a year and a half ago, and now many are buying new clothing. But worries about the Delta variant and the spike in COVID-19 cases could weigh in on Americans' confidence in spending.
T-Mobile says it's been hit by a data breach, but it won't say how widespread the damage may be. In an underground forum, hackers claim to have stolen full customer info from 100 million subscribers. T-Mobile says it's working with the highest degree of urgency and have closed the vulnerability hackers used to get into its servers. But the telecom company has not determined that any customer's personal data was actually stolen. T-Mobile says it will update customers once its investigation is complete.
Disney is unveiling new costumes and role-play wheelchair cover sets for kids and adults. The company says these adaptive features allow Disney fans to transform into their favorite characters. These costumes have stretch fabric that open in the back and is wheelchair friendly. The 2021 costume assortment includes characters from Raya and the Last Dragon, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Hocus Pocus.
And they even showed the Batmobile there.
Yeah, very creative.
Yes. 5:47 on your Tuesday.
Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. It looks like traffic is picking up a little bit.
That's right, Mark Stuff. We're seeing here at 35 in Weidner. Also saw some flashing lights out there a little bit earlier, but our friends at TransGuide moved the shot there, and it does look like those flashing lights have since dissipated. But we did have a stalled vehicle that was reported, according to TxDOT's page. That was on those southbound lanes of 35, but we're not seeing any issues out there. And it looks like that driver did receive assistance and is on their way right now, but still spotting a stalled vehicle out here off 281 southbound at Basse Road. We showed you this a little bit earlier in the newscast, not causing any issues again when it does come to traffic. But something that I am watching right now is going to be right over here off Loop 1604 northbound right at Culebra. Now, the San Antonio Fire page has reported a crash out there, but not seeing anything on TransGuide at this hour, not seeing anything reported on TxDOT's page. So right now we will report this as an incident. So use caution out there, especially if you see those flashing lights right now. But overall, things are looking really good. And again, a good time to head out the door and grab that cup of coffee as you get your morning going there. Just watch out for those stalled vehicles vehicles and any flashing lights that you may see out on the roadways right now, because things look like they're picking up nice and smooth here off 35, but we're watching things closely, guys.
Thank you, Steve. And Mike's got another pretty picture from Bluebell Ice Cream Country.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's absolutely gorgeous, that sunrise yesterday. We are going to have some clouds. We've got some clouds hanging around right now, but in some areas, you will see a pretty good looking sunrise this morning. You see those clouds in the background there. No problems as far as any visibility issues in and around the metropolitan area. We're not seeing any rain, so should be hopefully a dry commute, hopefully a smooth commute, I should say. It's going to be a dry commute. We don't have anything really showing up on radar. Maybe a couple little sprinkles down there in southern Atascosa County. But then you go off to the west, and we've got a few more showers well out in Valverde County. Obviously, more thunderstorms way, way northwest of our area. And the reason why I'm showing this is this bit of energy is going to be working its way to the east, and that's going to work across northern portions of the hill country. And so that's why we have a better chance. If you have the chance to see rain today, it's going to be primarily up to the north and to the northwest in northern portions of the hill country. So other than a few sea breeze showers there, we'll see some of those showers and thunderstorms out there north of most of our viewing area throughout the afternoon hours. But again, some of these storms can actually produce some of those outflow boundaries that may work their way down to the south, which could help to touch off a few more showers and storms. Going to keep a fair amount of clouds around today as well. So sort of mixture of sunshine and clouds. That'll keep temperatures down just a couple of degrees, like was the case yesterday. But also some of these thunderstorms are going to be hanging around into the overnight hours. And the way everything is sort of setting up around here could actually have some hefty downpours in portions of the hill country overnight and into early tomorrow morning, and a few of those leftover showers and storms even into tomorrow morning. And then throughout the rest of the day tomorrow, we'll have the scattered variety, more showers and storms kind of popping up around here. As far as the tropics are concerned, there's Fred. It is now just technically a tropical depression, just a low out there, dumping a lot of rain, Alabama, Georgia, into the Tennessee Valley. Out south of Bermuda, there is Tropical Storm Henri. This is just going to sort of spin out there in the Atlantic, but then that one is the one we are keeping an eye on, dumping a lot more grace, and it's dumping a lot of rain on Hispaniola. It's going to work its way just to the south of Cuba and then into the Gulf of Mexico and the Bay of Campeche. What's going on, though, is this high, which really has not been a dominant feature throughout most of the summer, and that's one of the reasons. Usually it's plunked down right on top of us, and that keeps us dry, keeps us very, very hot, but it is going to start to build on in. That's going to set up a blocking pattern. So there's grace, and it's just going to move pretty much straight west, straight to the west, I should say, as this high continues to sort of build in here as we go in toward the weekend. So that's what's going to continue to push grace and keep it well down to the south of us as we go in toward the weekend. But in turn, it's going to be on the hot side, 89 degrees. Don't want to get too hot with that forecast. Partly sunny skies today at noon, and that high temperature makes it up to 94. So we'll still be a couple of notches below normal with a few extra clouds out there. Showers and a couple of thunderstorms, especially up in the hill country, is going to be the best chance to see rain. And then that's going to extend overnight. And again, some of those heavy downpours are a possibility up in parts of the hill country overnight and early tomorrow morning. Then we'll have more scattered storms around tomorrow. Sort of a lull in the action. Rest of the week kind of picks up somewhat on Saturday, about a 30% chance for a shower or thunderstorm, and mid-90s other than that. So still seasonally hot, but not anything just way off the charts.
Nothing extreme.
Yeah, we can handle this, definitely.
Yep.
Thanks, Mike.
Right now it's 5:52, about 77 degrees.
The latest action thriller hitting theaters starring Michael Keaton and Samuel Jackson has an elite assassin looking for answers and revenge. We're going to have a special preview and hear from the cast next.
Your pick 3 numbers 262, Fireball 2. Daily 4 numbers 5195, Fireball 7.
Cash 5 167 1830. Texas 2-step 1621 2632. Bonus ball 19. Good luck.
We never sent anyone away who didn't have it coming. We all have to pay for our sins eventually.
Maggie Q is the protege, a contract killer who digs into the past after an attack on her mentor, played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Someone killed a friend of mine because of a contract he completed years ago.
Anna keeps crossing paths with another assassin, Rembrandt, played by Michael Keaton.
She's not going to run. She's going to lick her wounds, and she's coming after us. It was great fun. Those kind of movies are fun because, it's obviously kind of heightened reality.
Part of the fun for Maggie, who did all her own stunts, was this heart-stopping leap with a fire hose.
There's so much effort to get a shot like that, and it actually took us 2 days to get it. Anytime you have an actor on a wire that high, it's like stomach aches for the entire crew for 2 days.
A different kind of tension builds between Anna and Rembrandt at a restaurant.
When I started this, I was curious, and then I went from curious to concerned.
And now?
I'm testy. And trust me, you don't want to know me when I'm testy.
It was like two boxers, really, in a ring, and two really calculated, strong boxers who, before they strike, it takes a while. They're really thinking about it. One of those fights.
I'd really like to see you again, under different circumstances.
These are the best circumstances you'll ever see me in.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A reminder tonight, we're taking a deep dive in all the problems associated with February's winter storm. It's a collaboration between KSAT Explained and the Defenders. We take a closer look at what really went wrong and what needs to change to prevent another disaster. It airs tonight right here on KSAT 12 at 9 p.m. We have a lot more heading your way in the next hour, GMSA, including new details in an overnight shooting, what San Antonio police are saying about how it happened, and the people who were hurt. And TransGuide right now. Let's see how things are looking out there. We've got traffic running smoothly at 35 in Watson Lane, at least what appears outwardly right now in that part of town. Stephen Cavazos is here keeping an eye on the road with our friends at TransGuide. And we'll check back in with Mike Ostrage to get the rest of your work week forecast. You've made it to Tuesday, and you're watching GMSA.
Images of desperation at the Kabul airport reverberating back here in Washington. I'm Alex Perche. Coming up, the latest on President Biden again defending the withdrawal.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, a lot of cloud cover out there, and we are starting at 77 degrees.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. Thanks for flying with us this morning. It's Tuesday, August 17th.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this morning. Yesterday, I loved that cloud cover, even though we didn't get rain this time around.
Yeah, it took a while, but we had showers and storms start to move back into the area.
And we even went for a run, and it wasn't bad.
No, if you don't have that sun beating down on you, that really does help out quite a bit. Because again, I always emphasize all the numbers we talk about are taken in the shade.
Right.
So if the sun's, really beating down, it just kind of heats you up on top of that. But we'll still be up in the mid 90s, but like yesterday, a couple of notches below the average normal high temperature. Morning clouds starting off, and we don't really have much. There may be a couple little sprinkles down there in south and southeastern Atascosa County. A few of them well out to the west, but what we're kind of keeping an eye on, obviously there's that cluster of storms which is moving off to the northeast, so that's not really of any concern. But there is some energy out here to the west, and that's going to be working its way across the hill country later on today. So if you had to kind of pick a place where you have a better chance of rain, it's going to be up to the north and northwest, up in northern portions of the hill country. And that'll be later on today and extending into tonight. So a little different situation there. Mold is on the high side. The updated pollen count is going to be coming out in about an hour and a half or so. 76 this morning. So we're going to be staying in the mid to upper 70s. Big difference from yesterday when we had those low 70s out there. Upper 80s, close to 90 today at noon. And then later on today, we will have a few of those showers and thunderstorms developing, again, mainly to the north and to the northwest. 94 for a high temperature. We'll still have a couple of rain chances going into the next few days. Temperatures will stay mid-90s. Nothing too extreme, though, with temperatures. And we'll take a look ahead to the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Been kind of quiet and peaceful out there on the roads.
That's the way we like it, Mike. 35 at Watson Lane East. This is a shot at TransGuide before we went to break here, and you can see that traffic is moving out there right now. We're seeing a little bit of activity out there this morning, and that's because there's some drainage operations that were taking place out there a little bit earlier, and there was a few more flashing lights when we started giving you these updates here. But just as a reminder, if you're just waking up with us this morning, drainage operations will lead to that double main lane closure from Watson Lane and Parkway, and it's at I-35 near Comal County. It's been ongoing since Monday, but should be wrapping up Thursday. That's August 19th. Again, an overnight deal, but should be wrapping up by 5 in the morning. Just use caution driving through that area. But still some stalls to talk about here. Loop 1604 eastbound at US 281. This one popping up on our system. And we are also still seeing a stalled vehicle right there that looks like it just cleared out of 281 southbound right at Basse Road. So check those vehicles before you get out on the roadways right now. But the inbound times are still looking pretty good if you plan on traveling to the downtown San Antonio area. In the next few moments, 28 minutes coming in from 37 and Pleasanton, 17 minutes from 35 and Lytle, and it looks like we're looking at 19 from 90 and Castroville. Again, one last look at 35 at Watson Lane East. Things are getting going, but we're watching it closely. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen. A man's in the hospital with quite a story to tell about what had to be a frightening train ride. San Antonio firefighters say they found him dangling from a train by his foot.
Katrina Weber is live where they found him in the Kirby area near FM 78 and Buzz Aldrin Road. Now, Katrina, you mentioned earlier that he traveled many miles that way. Was he badly hurt?
Well, that's right, Stephanie. Firefighters say somehow that man suffered only minor injuries. It seems that his foot got stuck when he tried to jump off a train somewhere in the area of Quintana Road. By the time his ordeal was over, he had traveled that way, dangling from the train for at least 15 miles. Firefighters had to get a special tool to open the doors of the train and free him. They believe he was among a group of stowaways who had tried to get off the train near Quintana Road, but this man didn't quite make it. Firefighters say his friend called 911 for help around 1:30 this morning. Then with help from police, they began searching that area on the southwest side looking for the man. A short time later, they got a separate call about someone trapped on a train here on FM 78. And that's when they put two and two together and realized that this was the same man. Now, after firefighters rescued him, that man was taken to a hospital for treatment. But again, they say he suffered somehow only minor injuries. Reporting live on the northeast side near Kirby, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Also new this morning, San Antonio police left with a lot of questions after an early morning shooting on the east side. Right now it's unclear where it happened, but police say the victim ended up in the 5,000 block of Stoneley Drive. That's near 410 and Rigsby. Until the victim was in his vehicle when he was shot through the window. He was taken to a hospital. A woman in the vehicle was cut by some glass from that window. She was treated at the scene.
You probably got the blue alert on your phone last night. According to Wichita Falls Crime Stoppers, it's in regard to an attempted capital murder of a peace officer in Clay County. That's an area east of Wichita Falls and northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. Crime Stoppers say a Clay County deputy was shot at a truck stop around 7:30 last night. That suspect got away. He was last seen wearing a blue baseball cap and his four-door Cadillac with Texas license plate FXJ1334. Police say it should have multiple bullet holes in the back window and trunk. If you have any information, you're asked to call Wichita County Crime Stoppers at number 1-800-322-9888.
This morning, the Taliban have announced general amnesty for all Afghans and urged women to join its government.
This after thousands were seen desperate to escape, some chasing U.S. planes as a taxi for takeoff. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest from Washington.
Overnight, panic and desperation at the Kabul airport, so intense it temporarily shut down. This photo showing some of the lucky. More than 640 Afghans packed onto this U.S. C-17 military jet. Thousands of Afghans crowding onto the runway surrounding the plane as it took off, some even trying to cling to the side of the fuselage. Officials confirming U.S. troops shot and killed at least 2 armed men as thousands poured onto the runway. One U.S. service member was injured during the chaos. President Biden conceded the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan unfolded faster than anticipated, but insisted,
I stand squarely behind my decision. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces.
The president then telling the nation,
I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me.
While pointing a finger at the Afghan forces and leaders for the Taliban's rapid advance.
Here's what I believe to my core. It is wrong to order American troops to step up when Afghanistan's own armed forces would not.
The president also blaming the Trump administration, which negotiated the deal to pull troops out of Afghanistan. Republicans pounced.
Really troubling and disturbing and just devastating. We're going to be reeling, going back through that reel to see where we went wrong.
Few Democrats coming to the president's defense. Senator Chris Murphy on MSNBC.
Well, the president made a tough decision, but the right decision. I find it pretty incredible that people look at this decision and try to portray it as weakness.
An ABC News Ipsos poll from just last month found that 55% of Americans approved of President Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Cases of COVID continue to rise here in Bexar County. We're now seeing more than 1,600 cases per day, according to the 7-day average. San Antonio experiencing a 9% increase in our local hospitals. There are now more than 1,400 COVID patients being treated. 367 are in ICU. 238 are on ventilators. Nurses are reminding people some of those hospitalized are children.
Kids who are having fevers of like 103 to 104. You're talking about weakness, shortness of breath, difficult breathing.
Rudy Martinez is a RN at University Hospital's Pediatric Intensive Care. He's seen kids from infants to teens suffering from COVID. Those younger than 12 can't rely on the protection of the COVID-19 vaccine. He says Martinez continues to recommend mask wearing, social distancing, and hand washing to help keep you protected.
Fire crews continue to battle the massive Dixie wildfire in Northern California. Right now, the flames are feeding off strong gusty winds that prompted evacuation orders for residents in the small community of Janesville. So far, the Dixie wildfire has scorched nearly 570,000 acres.
Just about 10 minutes past the hour, 77 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, the Spurs summer squad fall to the Thunder yesterday, but there were some highlights for our young guys. The details in your morning sports brief.
Outside with live cam, could we see another shower or storm this afternoon? Mike Ostrage has the answer coming up as we take a look at some morning cloud cover over the Alamo City and wait for the sun to come up. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Spurs had a tough time in Vegas this summer. They closed out Summer League play yesterday with a 116-91 loss to the Thunder and finished 1-4. Trey Jones, Josh Primo, and Devin Vassell did not play. Rookie and second-round draft pick Joe Wieskamp tied for a team high honors with 12 points. Head coach Mitch Johnson said more wins would have been nice, but they were lucky to have some close games. Coach was also pleased with David Robinson's son, Justin, who came on strong in the last couple of games. In the last one, he had 5 points, 4 assists, 3 boards, and 2 blocks in 18 minutes.
He was just solid, and I mean that as a compliment in terms of I think he gave us a little bit of everything. Energy was the big thing, but I think defensively he did a great job of trying to protect the rim a little bit and being vocal and loud and being a connector on defense. And then offensively, I think he did a good job of trying to set screens and change sides with the ball for us in our offense and kind of keep the ball moving with some pace.
The Admiral was at the game watching his son. There he is. Spurs now off until the start of training camp coming up on September 28th.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Cowboys are back in Frisco for the remainder of their training camp, and they kicked it off with Cowboys night at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. The one of 4 practice sessions open to fans. Quarterback Dak Prescott returned, but did not go through team drills or 7-on-7 drills. Still dealing with that strained right shoulder. He is on course for the season opener September 9th against Tom Brady and the Bucs. The boys are just playing it safe with Dak.
The biggest thing, is really to stay on course with his work. It's plan of caution. I'm trying to come up with new words here, but I mean it's the same plan that coming out of this. It's when he was shut down, you have to build up his volume of throws again. So we just really don't want to put him in a position where we can re-injure it. So just continue to work on that plane.
Coach also said if Dak doesn't play against Texans Saturday, he won't play at all in the preseason. Defensive end Randy Gregory practiced last night. He's been dealing with a foot issue and did not make the trip to Arizona for Friday's preseason game. San Antonio Mission set to begin their next series with the division rival Corpus Christi Hooks on the road tonight. Missions come into this one with a 41-48 record. Corpus sits at 42-48. Should be a good one. Game 1 starts tonight at 6:30 at Whataburger Field. The series will run through Sunday, in Corpus Christi. Good luck, Missions.
Yeah, good luck, Missions. And at last check, the roads were looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Still looking pretty good right now, Steph. That's definitely right. We're seeing this shot at Loop 410 at Old Pearsall as we're inching closer to that morning rush hour right now. Things are shaping up to be pretty nice, so that's pretty good news if you plan on heading out in the next few moments. But we want you to be keeping this in mind for you early morning commuters. There is some construction that will be taking place out here at Loop 410 northbound. It's going to be from Old Pearsall Road to Ray Ellison Boulevard. A barrier setting that has already been taking place since Sunday, but should be wrapping up tomorrow. But it's an overnight deal, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. So again, just be on the lookout for those flashing lights and TxDOT crews that are working to improve the roadways there. Stalled vehicles right now. We're seeing a few of them here off I-35 southbound at New Braunfels Avenue, and another one not too far from there, but right here at Loop 410 southbound at Sinclair Road. So check those vehicles before you hit the roadways this morning. But overall, shaping up to be pretty nice so far. And if one of the places you're heading to is the gas station, well, AAA has your gas prices right here for Bexar County. We're looking at the average gas price at $2.72, and around the state, $2.84, in the country, $3.18. And again, AAA does report that that's been steady for the last week right now. And of course, they anticipate that these gas prices will likely fluctuate as we get a little bit closer to Labor Day weekend. Can't believe we're already talking about that. But Loop 410, one last look at Old Pearsall Road. Looks like things are shaping up to be pretty nice so far, guys.
Mike joins us now to roll that school bus.
2 weeks from this weekend.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks?
Let's see. Labor Day is coming up on
September 6th, I believe.
Monday, September 6th.
Wow.
2 weeks from this coming weekend,
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, quick sports note. I just read, you may have already seen this, but AP preseason football poll, and A&M is ranked 6th.
Wow.
It's Bama number one as predicted?
Yeah, Bama's number one, of course. And there's 3 SEC teams in the top 6, I believe. So,
okay.
Yeah. So good for them. And Texas is ranked 21. Right. Okay. Here's the school bus. Speaking of schools, and although not college, 76 degrees this morning. We'll stay in the mid upper 70s. Different story than yesterday when we had the, kind of a cool little snap in the morning when we were down in the low 70s, and then 94 for a high temperature later on today. Yep. Still a chance for a few showers and a couple of thunderstorms out there, although most of those are going to be further up to the north and to the northwest today. Interesting plant. I've heard about these before. I've never seen them. The moon plant. It blooms at night. And like the moon, it is almost full. Moon's going to be full on the 22nd. Very pretty, though.
Never have heard of those in my life. What about you, Steph?
No, but they're beautiful.
Yeah, I think I have heard of them, that they do bloom at night, but I've never been able to see them. Neat picture. Thank you very much for that. All right, speaking of pretty pictures, we do have some clouds out there, some clearing, so some folks are going to be seeing a decent sunrise this morning. Hey, strike up the band. This is the day we are all waiting for, where the average high temperature is starting to drop down for about, from the 30th of July up until yesterday. The average high temperature was 97 degrees out there at the airport, and now we're at 96. No big cold snap, but what's interesting is, just looking at this graph, it does tend to drop off more quickly than it warmed up, obviously, in the past couple of months. So we're going to be losing about 2, 3, even close to 4 degrees every couple of weeks as far as the average high temperature over the past 30 years. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the actual weather is going to follow suit, but hopefully so. All right, we've got some of our morning clouds around here, and a lot of rain off to the west and to the northwest. This, obviously, right around San Angelo, is moving up to the northeast. But this energy out here north of Big Bend, that's going to be working its way across the area, and that's what's going to give us the chance for some rain. Quick check off to the east. There is the leftovers of Fred, and as you can see, that's dumping a whole lot of rain. Got any travel plans going through Atlanta today? There may be some delays, and that's going to work its way up in toward the eastern Tennessee Valley and further up to the northeast. And for us, just to have to deal with some of those showers off to the west and northwest later on today. Obviously, there could be some of those outflow boundaries maybe pushing something a little further to the south, but they got to point in one direction. That's where most of the rain is going to be today. 89 degrees, partly sunny skies at noon, and then a high temperature up to 94. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms, mainly up to the north. Some of those, though, will be hanging around overnight. And the way the atmosphere is kind of set up, there's a lot of moisture to be squeezed out of the atmosphere. Could have some fairly hefty downpours in parts of the hill country overnight and into the wee hours tomorrow morning. And we'll still have some rain left over tomorrow. Temperatures will stay a few degrees below normal. Lesser rain chances Thursday, Friday, so mid, maybe even a few upper 90s out there. And then Saturday, another impulse moves through here, so albeit small, chance of rain on Saturday.
That's not bad. I mean, for Saturday to see the temperature at maybe 93, so that makes it better with that chance of rain.
And sprinkling in the sprinkles here and there.
Yeah, which... yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's just so unusual this year to seeing all of that. But once again, we knock on plexiglass.
Yes, we do.
So.
Seems to be working.
I was going to say it does.
621, about 77 degrees.
And are you looking for a new workout? Well, believe it or not, video games might be the answer. Details after the break.
It's time to dust yourself off and get back in there. Pick up the perfect look for the first day back. Curbside or in-store. At Macy's.
Are your sneezes putting your friends in awkward positions? Stick with Zyrtec. Zyrtec starts working hard at hour 1 and works twice as hard when you take it again the next day. Zyrtec, muddle no more.
Why new Woolite? Because it was specially formulated to protect synthetics and blends from damage in the wash, like fading, stretching, and pilling. New Woolite has Evercare, a first-of-its-kind formula that keeps today's fabrics looking like new. New Woolite with Evercare.
Nicorette knows quitting smoking is freaking hard. You get advice like, try hypnosis, or quit cold turkey.
Kidding me?
Instead, start small with Nicorette, which can lead to something big. Start stopping with Nicorette.
In today's Tech Bites, fixing one of Peloton's recalled treadmills. The company recalled its cheaper model treadmill in May after reports its touchscreen fell and caused minor injuries. Now Peloton says users can schedule an appointment for a technician to visit their home and fix the device.
The reservation booking platform OpenTable is adding a new feature to help restaurants verify customers' vaccination status. After diners show their vaccination card, restaurants can flag them as verified. Those customers will then be able to enter that restaurant from that point forward without showing their card.
Are you looking for a virtual workout? Try video gaming. A new study claims that gamers burn more than 400 calories in 2 hours. They say that is the equivalent of 1,000 sit-ups. Wow. Research also found women gamers burn 12% more calories than the guys. I don't know why I find that dubious.
That's funny. I mean, I guess Stephen had brought up that it's a workout. Yeah, but you're not getting your core workout in unless you're doing that at the same time.
Is this considered part of an upper body workout?
I guess so. It's your upper body.
625, about 77 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, a man who tried to stow away on a train ends up in the hospital. San Antonio firefighters say they rescued him after he got his foot stuck in a door. Our Katrina Weber is staying on top of the story, and she's going to join us live with the latest.
Commute-wise, it's been pretty quiet so far, but 35 New Braunfels, we have flashing lights. Looks like traffic is starting to slow in that area. We'll try to figure out what's happening out there with Stephen Cavazos. We'll be right back.
It appears that luck was on one man's side. Firefighters say he suffered only minor injuries after getting caught up in a moving train. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
Let's go outside with live cam. If you have 1 second, stop what you're doing, getting rid of the kiddos ready for school, and take a look at this pretty sunrise out there. Few little clouds, but nice blue skies off in the distance as the sun is starting to come up on your Tuesday. It is August 17th. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's very pretty out there. Hope you had a good Monday yesterday. We were excited about the cloud cover, so something that never happens. My husband volunteered for all of us to go running. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yes, and it must have been the weather.
Huh. It had to have been.
Yeah.
But it's good that you guys got out last night. Mike's here with us now with more.
We'll say it again today.
We'll see.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Yes, we're going to have about the same amount of cloud cover as yesterday. Some folks are going to be seeing a little bit more sunshine here and there. And remember, like yesterday, though, we started off looking like this, and then it was about, 8 o'clock or so, and the clouds decided to sort of fill in. And some folks are going to be seeing a fairly nice-looking sunrise out there. Temperature stands at 77 degrees. Different story than this time yesterday because, of course, we had those gust fronts that moved through on Sunday with some of those thunderstorms, and that pulled in relatively speaking, cooler air. We were in the low 70s yesterday, but again, that's not the situation. Also, the humidity is back up as well, so maybe not the best running outside weather. A little bit of fog is showing up around Port SA right now. That's the only spot, maybe a hint around New Braunfels. Mold is on the high side, pigweed is low, and throughout the day we are, well, mostly cloudy skies this morning, warm and humid, and then a couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms, mid-90s. Most of those are going to be up to the north and to the northwest in northern portions of the hill country. Some of those may actually linger into the overnight hours, and there could be some hefty downpours in parts of the hill country. That's something we're going to have to watch out for. A few more showers and thunderstorms. Then tomorrow they will continue to sort of taper off. Rain chances really start to go down, and mid-90s then to finish up the work week. Perhaps even another shower of rain by the first part of the weekend. Details on that coming up in a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. You haven't had a lot to talk about today.
Well, you know, it was looking good up until a few moments ago, Mike. Now we have some flashing lights out here, 35 at New Braunfels. Let's take a closer look here at TransGuide. Now, TxDOT did initially report a stalled vehicle out there, but they did since upgrade that to a crash. And I want to give you a different shot here from what we're looking at. And traffic is slowing down. We know that, again, as we're inching closer to that morning rush hour, this could be one of those factors that slows traffic down, and we're seeing that being reflected here at our maps off I-35 southbound, again, just past New Braunfels. Traffic moving right now at just 35 miles per hour, and it does appear that that delay is stretching a little bit there in those southbound lanes. So use some caution for those first responders. Move over and slow down. Again, that crash and a stall, it looks like it just popped up in our system up north 35 near Live Oak. So check those vehicles when you hit the roadway. We've been seeing a few stalls popping up and then dissipating from our maps, but just use some caution when you're out there on the roads right now. But the inbound times are looking pretty good if you're traveling to the downtown San Antonio area. In the next few moments, 24 minutes coming in from I-10 and Boerne, 26 from Bulverde and 281, and it looks like we're looking at 28 minutes from 35 and New Braunfels. But this is what we're going to be watching closely, guys. Again, make sure you move over and slow down for those first responders working to clear the scene. Mark, Stephanie?
Thanks, Stephen. A hospital emergency room was the destination for a man who took what had to be a frightening ride on a freight train. San Antonio firefighters say he somehow suffered only minor injuries after dangling by his foot from that train for miles.
Katrina Weber is live where that ride ended near FM 78 and Buzz Aldrin Road. Now, Katrina, you mentioned earlier that firefighters believe he was a stowaway on that train.
That's right. They say it looks like he was with a group, and when they tried to jump off the train, he tried to do the same but didn't quite make it. Now, this happened clear on the other side of town, somewhere off Quintana Road. Firefighters believe he traveled at least 15 miles dangling from the train by his foot. It got stuck in a door on that train, which was carrying a load of automobiles. Fire crews had to get a special tool to open the door and free him. Now, they got the initial call about this around 1:30 this morning. It was from one of the man's friends telling them what happened. Firefighters and police spent some time searching that area near Quintana Road for him, but couldn't find him. A short time later, they put two and two together when they got another call from this area near Kirby about someone who was caught in a train, and they realized that this was the same man. Now, again, firefighters say in spite of what happened, that man suffered only minor injuries, and he was taken to a hospital for treatment. Reporting live on the northeast side near Kirby, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Right now, the search is on for a man who fired shots at a vehicle and took off. So here's a look at the suspect. It happened earlier this month on Tuscany Stone near 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Police say it started when the suspect flagged down another driver. When that driver stopped, they got into an argument and the suspect showed a gun. The other driver took off, and that's when the suspect fired shots. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 210-224-STOP.
Police also need your help finding this missing 13-year-old girl. Take a look. She was visiting San Antonio with her foster parents on Sunday. Investigators say Leilana Graham was arguing with her foster parents at River Center Mall before leaving the property. She was last seen wearing a black t-shirt and turquoise leggings. She goes by the nickname Lana. If you've seen her, have any information on her whereabouts, you're asked to call SAPD Missing Persons. That number is on your screen. It is 210-207-7660. San Antonio police say an innocent man was shot after a botched drug deal, and that suspect is still on the run. Happened last night just before 6:30 near Leona and Houston Street, just a couple of blocks away from UTSA's downtown campus. Officers believe a drug deal that did not go as planned led a gunman to shoot. One of those bullets ended up hitting the victim, who was walking a block away on Commerce. That 50-year-old man was hit in the hip area and taken to a hospital. He's expected to be okay. Well, as you know by now, Kabul has fallen in dramatic fashion, and this morning the U.S. is still scrambling, trying to evacuate embassy personnel and American citizens amidst the chaos.
And as CNN's Brett Conway reports, officials say tens of thousands of refugees could be headed our way.
In the city of Kabul, Taliban fighters are victorious, smiling. At the city's airport, scenes of fear and desperation to get out. People who helped U.S. troops and diplomats in Afghanistan are terrified they'll be targeted by the Taliban, skeptical of their assurances that people who worked with foreign forces and their families won't be harmed.
Taliban are the people that they never keep their promise.
The U.S. says it will keep its promise. President Joe Biden has directed the Secretary of State to use up to $500 million from the Emergency Refugee and Migration Assistance Fund. And people who work for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services have been asked to help out, possibly deploying to Texas, Wisconsin, or California, where U.S. officials say they're making space for around 22,000 people who applied for an Afghan Special Immigrant Visa, or SIV.
Persons that come to these locations will have been pre-screened by the Department of Homeland Security to enter on condition of full immigration processing once they arrive.
But national security officials say there are as many as 60,000 Afghans who could qualify for refugee or SIV status, and that doesn't include their families.
These are moms and dads with little kids at their knees, and every one of them should be gotten out by us.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
And former service members living here in San Antonio are expressing their frustration and concern as they watch the situation unfold in Afghanistan. Veterans who served in that country are demanding answers from the president. One veteran told KSAT the complete abandonment of the country doesn't make sense when he sees the bases we have in other countries.
This is a humanitarian crisis at an epic proportion, and we should not downplay it. The anger, the frustration needs to be voiced.
And he is encouraging veterans to reach out to their battle buddies to make sure they are okay. If you're a veteran and need support, you can call the Veterans Crisis Line, that number 1-800-273-8255.
Turning now to the coronavirus, now that Bexar County's mask mandate for public schools is allowed to remain in effect, SAISD will continue to require masks for students and staff. 57th District Court Judge Antonia Arteaga again ruling in favor of the city and the county. Masks are mandated for school, city, and county employees and all those entering county and city facilities. This ruling is not the end of this battle, as appeals will likely be filed.
San Antonio ISD also says that teachers and staff must be vaccinated against COVID-19. The district says the deadline to get that shot is October 15th. School officials say 90% of SAISD staff is already fully vaccinated, but now that last 10% will be required to get the shot. District officials say it takes about 5 weeks to reach full protection after getting that first dose.
Meanwhile, Northeast ISD acknowledged the most recent ruling and says the district will strongly encourage the use of face coverings. They also expect the governor to challenge the ruling, so they won't be mandating masking at this moment. Quote, rather than putting our community through constantly changing guidance as legal proceedings continue, we will continue to strongly encourage the use of face coverings while we wait for the Texas Supreme Court to decide whether today's temporary injunction is enforceable, end quote.
And new this morning on our website, a story from the San Antonio Business Journal, the company behind Schlitterbahn Water Parks in New Braunfels and Galveston, and nearly a dozen more theme parks, saying that they have plans to spend about $200 million on its properties for the 2022 season. They hope it will draw more business back to its parks. The plan will include upgraded food venues and attractions. You can read more about this story on our website at ksat.com. Just look for it on the homepage.
Thanks for starting your day with us here on GMSA. Right now it's 6:40, about 76 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, a woman's skeletal remains found back in 1990. Now justice could finally be coming for her family. That's coming up next. And welcome back. It's about 6:44. Justice may finally be on the horizon for the family of a San Antonio woman whose skeletal remains were found back in the late 1990s.
Deborah Salinas' alleged killer, her own husband, maintains his innocence to this day. Our Eric Hernandez tells us the story of Roy Hernandez in today's South Texas Crime Stories.
Once a happily married couple, 26-year-old Deborah Salinas and 35-year-old Roy Hernandez shared a home on the south side of San Antonio. Things took a dark turn when in late 1999, Deborah's family reported her missing. She disappeared without a trace until February of 2006. Investigators received a tip and found her body behind the couple's home in the 200 block of Contrell. Her remains were found under a makeshift concrete slab in their backyard. A cause of death could not be determined, but it was ruled a homicide because of the way her body was disposed. Police suspected domestic violence may have led to her death. Her husband, Roy Hernandez, was questioned by police, but the case would go cold due to lack of evidence. That is, until 2017, when investigators noticed inconsistencies in Hernandez's statements to police. The district attorney's office eventually collected enough evidence to convince a grand jury to indict Hernandez. The now 52-year-old was arrested in 2017 and currently faces a murder charge in connection with Deborah's death. Hernandez maintains his innocence. After waiting 21 years, Deborah's mother now looks forward to finding justice for a woman she describes as selfless and always ready to help others. Now, if jury trials resume, Hernandez's trial could begin in November. For more on this case and others, head to our website, ksat.com. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
It's now 6:45.
And it's kind of a mess there on I-35 in Pine. Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos.
It's certainly the case right now, Mark and Stephanie. You know, we had a pretty quiet morning throughout the show now, but we're seeing some issues popping up on our roadways. 35 at Pine does show a stretch of lights right now and some flashing lights. That's because we do have first responders out there on the scene. TxDOT has reported a crash in that area. So let's take you to the map right now and show you how things are looking right now. You can see that traffic in those lanes of 35 are moving right now is moving at 22 miles per hour. Now that crash is leading to some slowdown, so use some caution when you see those first responders out there on the scene working to clear things up right now. But a stalled vehicle also reported up here toward New Braunfels off I-35 northbound right at Schertz Parkway there, not causing as many issues, thankfully, on the roadways. But of course, use some caution when you see those flashing lights or stalled vehicles out on the road. Overall, there's not many other issues taking place at this hour, but we are watching things closely here on our map. But the big thing right now is going to be 35 at Pine, Mike. People are going to want to be extra cautious driving through this area and expect those delays.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, beautiful picture of the waxing gibbous moon. It's going to be full on the 22nd. I love that good night moon. Remember reading that story to the kids. All right, almost identical situation to yesterday. We had some of those clear skies, and now those clouds have filled back on in here, and we're going to be seeing sort of a mixture of sunshine and clouds then throughout the day. Some folks may lean toward the cloudier side. A couple of sprinkles are showing up just to the west of Uvalde right now, and then out there to the northwest, huge cluster of storms. Now, obviously, that's not having any impact on us up by San Angelo. However, there is some energy out here to the west around north Big Bend area, which is going to be working its way into the hill country, and that's what's going to touch off showers and thunderstorms in the hill country. That's going to be the best opportunity to see any rain today. Quick check on the tropics. There's the leftovers of Fred, big rain producer around Atlanta and then heading up in toward the Tennessee Valley. If you got any travel plans going through Atlanta this morning or today, you might want to check ahead for potential delays, or since that's a huge Delta hub, that may be kind of that residual effect around the country. This is Henri out there south of Bermuda. That's going to just take about a 360 and sit out there in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And there is Grace, which is now back up to tropical storm strength, and it is going to continue to work its way pretty much straight to the west and move through the Caribbean. 40-mile-per-hour winds right now. It is forecast to gain some strength and get close to hurricane strength as it moves across the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula right there in Cancun into the Bay of Campeche. However, the way the upper level winds are all set up, and we've got a high pressure building in kind of on top of us or the southern portion of the United States, and that's going to continue to keep that kind of pressed down to the south. So that's not going to have any effect on our weather as it's looking right now. And it's going to be moving in toward central Mexico by the weekend. 89 degrees today at noon, partly sunny skies, and then a high temperature today is going to make it up to 94. So it will still be a couple of notches below normal thanks to some of the extra clouds out there. A few showers, a couple of thunderstorms, especially up in portions of the hill country. And difference being, because in the past couple of times we've had some rain, once the sun goes down, they die down. That does not look like it's going to be the situation tonight. So some of these thunderstorms are going to last overnight. Again, primarily up in the hill country, and the way things are set up, there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere to be squeezed out. So we could have potentially some hefty downpours in parts of the hill country overnight, and then some leftovers early tomorrow morning. Still a chance of rain. I think temperatures stay, again, a few degrees below normal. Lesser chance of rain Thursday, Friday, one or two of them out there. So mid 90s, and then another quick shot of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday. So we'll still be on the hot side, but still all those numbers are below their respective high temperatures.
Okay, and it sounds like if you're going to Cancun, Cozumel, Playa del Carmen in the next 24 hours or so, definitely check ahead on your flights and with your hotels.
And today, if there's any, residual effects from all those big storms and potential delays around Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Well, watch out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. About 10 till right now, 76 degrees.
It's a neighborhood landmark that's also full of inspiration. I'm Katrina Weber. The story behind this mural tomorrow on GMSA.
And a quick look out with live cam this morning. We're at 76 degrees. A beautiful shot out there. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the evacuations in Afghanistan underway. You've probably seen these startling images of the massive crowds on the tarmac of the airport, all desperate to escape. Well, this morning, what our reporter Ian Pannell saw there on the ground in the chaotic streets of Kabul for the first time since the Taliban came to power, and President Biden remaining defiant meanwhile after the rapid fall, defending his exit strategy and bringing home U.S. troops. You'll see that and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
A man has gone from a car and a train to a bed in a hospital. And according to San Antonio firefighters, he had one long, scary ride getting there. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. They say he was dangling by his foot from that train for at least 15 miles. The firefighters say somehow he suffered only minor injuries. They found him with his foot caught in the door of a freight train near FM 78 and Buzz Aldrin Road. A friend of the man had called 911 around 1:30 this morning, telling them what happened. It appears they were among a group of stowaways who jumped off the train somewhere along Quintana Road. The train then traveled clear across town with the man still stuck in the door. This was one of those trains carrying automobiles, so firefighters had to use a special tool to free that man. And again, they say he suffered only minor injuries. He was taken to a hospital for treatment. Reporting from the northeast side near Kirby, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And already spotting some issues out on the roadway. We have been keeping an eye on this situation happening here on 35 at Pine. You can see from the shot at TransGuide, we do have a stretch of light and flashing lights. First responders out there working to clear a crash scene. Looks like we are seeing those delays as well in those southbound lanes of 35 with traffic moving at 11 miles per hour right now. This is going to be the big issue right now as we get the morning started. We did have a few stalls that have since wrapped up, Mike, but what's the forecast looking like?
Well, we're going to have we got a lot of clouds right now, and we're going to keep a fair amount throughout the rest of today. A few sprinkly showers are showing up just out here to the west, moving in toward Uvalde County right now. Not a heck of a lot, but we will see more rain, or the better chance of rain is going to be up in northern portions of the hill country later on today. 89 at noon, 94 for a high temperature. And then some of those storms are going to linger overnight, maybe some hefty downpours in the hill country overnight. A few more showers, thunderstorms tomorrow, and rain chances will taper off. Mid-90s really throughout the rest of the forecast. Nothing too extreme.
Very latest on Afghanistan coming up on Good Morning America.
Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you back here at 9.